Oh, I'm already filming. Great start. Hello everyone, it's Bethany from Beth and Books and welcome back to this book nook. Holy moly, it has been so long since I have used that introduction, but it just feels right. If you've been a long time subscriber, I'm so sorry for the absolute YouTube radio silence. Long story short, I really had to take a good deep look at myself because I realized that BookTube and Bookstagram and BookTok and book this, book that, book everything, it was very negatively affecting me. If you're new here, hello, my name is Bethany. I'm English born, Kiwi raised, recently moved to Australia, living in Melbourne, book lover and woman in her 20s who doesn't really know what she's doing. And I really feel like that's got to be a permanent part of this introduction because that's a permanent part of my life and I love it, and it's not a negative, it's not a complaint or anything like that. It just is my reality. So if you're coming to a channel looking for a woman who has really thought out things and plans, that's my day job. I turn the camera on, I am just being myself. So yes, hello, back to my original conversation. I am so sorry for the radio silence. It's just been a real big time of reflection for me since moving to Australia. Moving to Australia has benefited my life in ways I could not have imagined, but has also made me look deeply at myself in ways I could not imagine. And basically I had almost this, I don't want to be too dramatic here, but almost like a spiritual breakdown in that I realized that a lot of what I had been doing in my life, I had been doing for other people. I had been feeling obliged to really, I don't know how to explain this very eloquently. Basically, team, I realized that my life, I thought I was making decisions for myself, but it wasn't until I truly made a decision for myself and moving to Australia that I realized how much of my life I was living for other people. And I'm not saying anything about family pressure on my fiance pressure. Like, my family and my partner are the most amazing supportive people in the world. It's just that I was making decisions based on pleasing other people because I was thinking what they wanted. And you might be like, Bethany, why are you divulging way too much to the internet? Because part of that is what bookish social media and how bookish social media has affected me. I started Instagram, Bookstagram, specifically back at university, and I loved it. But ever since that moment, my hobby of reading had become a bit of almost like a job. I felt like I was obliged or expected to put content out, keeping in mind I make $0 off of this. That's actually a lie. I've had one paycheck from YouTube of, I think it was $120. So that was nice. It paid my power bill for the month. But that's the only money I've ever gotten from this. So it really is a hobby. And I've tried to rectify this balance in my life before by coming on here after having a month or two of a break with like a new idea of how my content is going to be. I think my recent attempt at rebranding was saying I'm just going to do a vlog channel. I'm not going to really do books specifically anymore. But after having, I think, 5 months away from any form of consistent content, I just felt ready. I've started watching BookTube videos again. I finally started reading consistently this month. Goodreads told me that the last book I read was October last year, which is insane to me because I've been an avid reader for years, but I think it just really ground to a halt for me. But I'm really excited to be back, and I'm not going to make any lofty statement about how often I'm going to post or what my plans are. You'll notice that if you are an OG, I used the same intro that I have been using for years because what I was trying to do previously was trying to label myself accurately so that other people understood me. Other people don't have to understand me. Bethany is who I am books is what I love, and is just a conjunction bringing these two parts of me together. This channel isn't just going to be bookish, but there's going to be lots of book stuff on here because that's what I'm passionate about creating. But there are also going to be vlogs. So yeah, I feel like that's enough for a little introductory, I say little, 5 minutes of filming. That's all I'm really going to do in terms of explanation. Instead, what you can expect from this vlog is right now I need to tidy up the house because we've got an apartment inspection tomorrow. And I was just showing you this book. I'm going to do a quick little review, and then I'm thinking I might pick up the next one in the series. But first, before my very flat vanilla Coke escapes me, the energy it's given has been used in just talking very vivaciously to a camera, I need to clean this apartment. To avoid copy strikes, I will now kind of sing to you. Enjoy. Alexa, play music.
Is Spotify.
If you're alone and you need a friend, something that I want to do, whoa, let's have some fun. Boom, 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 boom. I want you in my room. Let's spend the night together forever. Okay, that's been one song. Next. She turns on TV. Guess who she sees? It's Skater Boy rocking on MTV. Shakira. I didn't know that you could dance like this. See the irony. Alexa, stop. Oh, all right, team. Let's talk about the books I have currently on my TBR. And you might be thinking, Bethany, there's only 4 books. Amidst my bookish breakdown, I realised how much consumerism is currently happening in the bookish world. For example, the sheer plethora of different copies and editions of Sarah J. Maas books out there at the moment. Honestly, I love her writing, but I'm starting to disrespect her. You might be saying, but Bethany. Girl, that's her publisher's decision, yeah. But surely she signs off on it. I don't know, it's not that deep. I just think there's a big amount of cash grabbing, money grabbing in the book industry at the moment. So I signed up to 3 different libraries since I have moved here. And I have 4 books here. I've already hinted at one. This is the one I've most recently finished. This is The Hawthorne Legacy by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. It's book 2 in this series. It's basically The Hunger Games meets Suits meets a little bit of The Da Vinci Code by Dan Brown. It's just really good. I would say, like, it is young adult, but there's enough intrigue and mental work at play in this book that as an adult I am still very intrigued. Alongside this, I want to introduce you guys to a hobby I've been doing, something I've been doing related to book hobbies since having my break, and that is I have been writing all of my reviews in my diary. So yes, some pages of this are my deepest secrets. Some of this is also, oh my god, look how stupid I used to be. I used to plan out social media. Far out. I'm so glad I'm away from that. Some of it's my gym log. This is just becoming an everything journal for me, but I digress. I have in here my review of the Hawthorne Legacy. So let me just summarize this for you. I ended up giving this book 5 stars. I'm just gonna throw a picture up there for you. There are certainly some triggers in here: death, attempted murder, arson, substance abuse, blood, death of loved ones, suicide ideation, and gun violence. I can only imagine what Barnes's planning looked like for this book, because the amount of plot twists and red herrings, but also minimal amount of plot holes, like every question you have is answered. It's incredible. Too many times I read a mystery or a thriller. I don't think I'd call this a thriller, but a mystery or thriller. And there's just too much going on without enough reasoning. Or there's so little going on, it's not thrilling or mysterious enough. Barnes manages to balance it perfectly. There is also a little bit of romance in this book. I'm happy it doesn't take up more pages than it already does, but it adds a really nice element of drama. And if you've read this series, I am team, what's the main character's name? I am team Avery's choice at the end of this book. I agree with her. She made the right decision. So, I don't know. But I am seriously thinking about seeing if I can find book 3 on my tablet to read as a digital copy. But aside from that, I do just want to show you these 3 books. Whether or not they feature in this video or future videos, I don't know. But something I found that's been really helping me with my reading slump is that I used to get out stacks of books, you know, my Real Choosers TBR. I think I'll work up to that eventually, but maybe not choosing 10 books at a time, just maybe 5 maximum, because otherwise I used to think, oh, that choice would help me choose a book. But I've realized it just further flustered and overwhelmed me. So I've been getting out less books from the library. You can see here The Heart Principle. This is by Helen Huang. This is the 3rd book in a series. Each of the series is within its own right. What did I hear someone's call them? A character book. So they're like standalones, but it's like a character series. That's what it was called, a character series. So you don't follow the same character throughout the whole thing. This one follows Anna Sun, who accidentally achieves career success through a viral YouTube video, yada yada. I don't want to talk about these too long, because when I get around to reading them, I'll introduce them to you properly. I have Taylor Jenkins Reid, who I believe is becoming one of my favorite authors. I love 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. I always get that title confused with the 7 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle. I might even have it confused as it is now, but that's my favourite of her books. I've read Daisy Jones and the Six, which was so-so, and I read Carrie Soto is Back after I went and watched a lot of the Aussie Opens. You guys have missed out on like half a year of my life. I've done so much. I've been living life and taking a break from this, but as you can see, I'm really passionate and excited to be back, and I'm really breaking down the wall and the mask that I used to have when the camera was on. I digress. I picked up Malibu Rising because I've been loving her writing style. Then the last one here is Baptism of Fire. This is I always want to say book 5 because I read the prequels to the series. I think it's technically book 3 in the actual series. This is by Andrzej Sapkowski. As you can tell, I am trying really hard to finish series, and I think that might actually be a video I do, like a bookish video. I might update you all on what series I have ongoing. I'm trying really hard to reduce the amount of book series I have on the go before I start a new one. But for now, this is my little physical TBR pile, and I need to borrow you guys and Uber Eats some cheap Indian curry. I swear to God, one of the hardest things about being an adult is figuring out what to cook every night. I did so well last week that I got paid last night, so I indulged in $6 takeaway curries. It's cheaper than making it yourself, which is the sad thing. I'll have half the rice. Ty doesn't get back from work for a little bit. He'll be home soon, any second now, really. So I'll just have this for myself. I was about to put this in my mouth. It's a piece of Lego. I thought it was rice. I'm a child. Shall we talk about fears whilst I'm eating my dinner with you guys? I say with you guys as if you... Oh, I was looking for that. I say with you guys as if you also are eating your dinner. Drink. The theme of today's video, is she child or is she adult? Fear. And I say fear because it is kind of a genuine fear, and apprehension perhaps is the better word. And that is, as you know from like the very last video, or one of the last videos I posted, I took you through a week in the life of being a high school teacher. There's a lot of stigma around high school teachers having public hobbies, full stop. Oh, that's good. So like, it used to be about tattoos, right? Tattoos were taboo. You couldn't be considered a professional if you had them. That's out the window now. So many people in leadership have tattoos. Oh, I think this is Titus. I'm psychic. Hey, baby.
Okay.
I slaved away and cooked you some dinner. I just happened to put it in packaging.
I see.
Guess what I'm doing?
There you go.
Vlogging again.
Yay.
Yay. I don't know, I just, you know how on Uber you can order again? I just did that. It's from the $6 curry place. It's like $23 for 2 people and the naan and the rice. What was I saying to the people, babe? Oh yeah, stigma around like teachers having hobbies.
You're not allowed them.
Yeah, exactly. You're not allowed them. I have lost my train of thought though. I don't know where I was going with this. I guess I feel like I'm just scared of being perceived. That sounds so weird. I'm trying to say weird and wild. Weird. It's so wild to me that it sounds so stupid. Like, I understand I'm putting things on the internet, but it's hard to perceive that the people perceive me sometimes. I don't know if that makes any sense. It's just because there's a disconnect, right? I'm not actually talking to 1,300 of you, I think there are at the moment. You're not actually in front of me. I'm just talking to a piece of technology, and sometimes this one. So yeah, not really a fear of being perceived, but a fear of not being able to be myself in a space that is a hobby outside of school because of someone from school, or a parent more likely from school or something, considering it inappropriate that a teacher has a life and is sharing it online. That's interestingly the kicker. They wouldn't care what I would be doing in my own life if it didn't negatively impact anybody. But sharing it, being modern and sharing things online and showing that you are human, not a robot, apparently crosses a line. Oh, I've claimed my tablet back, babe. My home screen is like a penguin book. Go away, I'm reading. Bye. No, really. I found a little aesthetic home screen and rearranged things prettily. And I did manage to find The Final Gambit as a free PDF. So I do think I'm going to read this one, knock off another complete series from my list. So yeah, I'm going to enjoy myself. Oh, do you want naan? In the previous book of this series, I've made a prediction that there's this one person who's going to be a bad guy. And I might be completely off the back, but I'm just putting it here because if I'm right, I want to brag about it.
Never brag.
Pardon?
You would never brag about
I would never brag. Haven't we been known each other for 12 years? Almost 13.
No.
That's a bit of a lie. I always brag. I'm humble when it's better to be humble, but with you I brag. Alright, I've mentioned before how much I love Thai milk tea, and something I've recently discovered is chrysanthemum tea with honey, specifically the one with honey. I need to show you what it looks like when you pour it out, because the first time I did this, I was like, oh, why does it look like poison? Oh my gosh, can you guys see how it's pellets? Anyway, I just put hot water in it and it's good. This has become a little bit of a nighttime ritual for me. I make myself one of these and go sit in bed and read a book. I'm trying really hard to get off my screen at night, aside from like my ebook screen. And whilst it's not necessarily making me go to sleep earlier, because then I just can't stop reading and then I just keep reading till like 1 a.m. It's creating like a calmer sense in my mind, which is really nice. I will say the one potential con I've found to being off of bookish social media is that I'm really behind, if you can even be behind in this, really behind on knowing like what the new releases are and stuff. So I've been watching some booktube, adding some books to my TBR pile on Goodreads, because again, I'm not buying books really at all. I've bought one book which I'll show you eventually. By the way, look how well the spring onion is doing, just chilling over there. Honestly, I've got like a meerkat brain. I go meh, meh, meh. Yeah, so what was I saying? But I was going to ask you guys if you have any book recommendations, especially like books that have come out in the past 2 years that you think I would really enjoy. Please hit a girl up because I would love to add them to my TBR. Maybe even do a vlog that is themes of what you guys recommend. I have been screenshotting all of the recommendations you guys have sent me over the years in the comments below, but any like new ones I would highly recommend, highly appreciate. But for now I'm going to sit here and read. I am so ridiculously bundled up, but the weather here in Melbourne has freezingly turned in the mornings, and then it gets still quite warm by the end of school. So I've got and then you can see the sun is absolutely blinding behind me. It's insane. But I was reading The Final Gambit. Is that even what it's called? I think so, as in the chess move. On the train, just giving you all a heads up, I am about 50% of the way, not a heads up, update. I'm about 50% of the way into the book series. Can you tell it's still so early? I'm about 50% of the way into the book. There we go. There's a plumber in a van coming towards me. I'll explain that away as public vlogging nerves. There he goes. I'm liking it. I have had the thought though that maybe I shouldn't binge series because it creates a bit of a bookish hangover and it doesn't give me enough time to like sit and wonder about what happens next. So like I'm still loving the book, it's good, but it's almost like I'm over it in the sense that like I feel like I've been with these characters for so long now that, you know, maybe a break is good. Do the Ross and Rachel special. But yeah, in terms of, I realised when I was editing this last night, I never even told you what day it is. It's Friday, so it's the last day of school. And in terms of the term, it's the second to last week of term. Next week is the last week. And then I go on a 2-week holiday. I'm going to go to Sydney to catch up with my brother and some friends whom I haven't seen in a very long time. I haven't seen my brother since moving to Australia, so that's going to be nice. But yeah, that's just a little update. I'm obviously on my way to school now. It's the calm before the... It is very much the calm before the storm at school at the moment for me, in the sense that the second to last week of term is often when all of the English assessments get scheduled. It's really hard to do English assessments halfway through a term because you need the entire term to like read the book you're studying or watch the film you're studying or develop your creative writing abilities, you know, all of that stuff. So right now it's all pretty chill, but next week is going to be intense with the marking. But yeah, just a little update for you.
The value of reading books. For me, books help me to understand the world, they help me to understand my place in it. I think they're a lesson in empathy.
I feel like one of those kids who very sadly don't have many friends and sit by themselves. I'm normally in the staff room, but I've got 3 minutes left of lunch now before the music plays. I'm eating my leftovers, watching a video on Jack Edwards, which is the perfect one for what I've been talking about lately, which is how TikTok ruined reading and the BookTok book formula. I'll try to remember to link it down below. Editing me hopefully has put a screenshot up. It's really interesting. A student was just finishing their assessment, hence why I'm sitting in the classroom like a loner, eating my lunch. Friday! It's Friday. We are going to go get some margarita and some tacos. Normally we do Taco Tuesday, except Titus works on Tuesday nights, so we don't in fact do Taco Tuesday. We do Friday. Out of breath. Let's go. How have you finished your one already, babe? About time, but they're here digging, babe. This is not going to be enough for you, is it?
We're getting pizza after this.
I really fancy an apple pie and custard right now. Shall we go get? Yo. That margarita has also definitely gone to my head because I haven't eaten really since that one taco.
Huh?
Excuse me. I found speckled eggs. This isn't what I came in for, but I am happy. At this rate, I'm gonna have to do a snack haul for you all. I should not go snack shopping when I'm still hungry. Do I need this? Maybe. I just learned that Cubone's skull is his mother's skull because he's mourning his mum. Do you still want him? He's a bad Pokemon. Okay, I'll ditch him. Should I put him in the freezer? $7. Should I do a swap? Apple pie for a...
What pie do you want?
The one with the most
Korean
pastry. No, just classic. Don't taint it with all of that fancy stuff. Just
Snack
go.
ones or the family one?
The one with the most pastry ratio. Snack. Because then we can have one each, you see.
You don't want the crisscrosses?
Nah, more pastry. Pastry good. Pastry yum. Alright, Cubone. You'll be happy there. I used to have a little jingle for snack holes. It went something like snack, 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 snack hole. I also had like things to go around with it. Maybe I'll make the visual jingle for that again. I went in to Coles because I wanted apple pie and custard. Apple pie. The how to cook. It doesn't give me a temperature or a time. To channel my dad, 180 degrees Celsius, fan bake, will cook anything eventually. And I found discount custard. I haven't updated you all recently, but I'm loving my fashion magazines. This magazine series is, magazine publication rather, is quarterly. So this is the autumn one. Oh, you got 2 hot cross buns?
Yeah,
We have hot cross buns and hot cross buns apple and cinnamon edition. For salty, we have char grilled Korean barbecue Pringles. Speckled eggs. These are not the speckled eggs I want, but they're the only ones that Coles have, aside from the M&M ones, and the M&M ones. From the international aisle, these are my favourite crisps of all time. It does feel kind of ironic calling an Asian thing crisps. But what do people call these? Crisps? Chips? In English, obviously. Wait, no, because then that's translated. If you translate the Asian word for crisp, like, what do they call them?
Usually Lay's.
Lay's? Like the brand?
Yeah.
You know what? I'd rather Lay's than chips. Chips are fried potatoes and they're hot. And it's Easter, so I treated myself to a little Kinder Bunny with a toy inside and caramel chocolates. I say that, obviously Easter too. I finished The Queen's Gambit, the final Gambit. Book through the Inheritance Cycle, Inheritance Games. I have had a shower and I am currently writing my review for it. Alrighty, here are my final thoughts on The Queen's Gambit. First of all, I have completed another series on my list, which is really fun, and overall I've given it 4 stars. I think that my favourite thing about this series has been how complex the plot has been, how riddled with riddles it is, and I can't really see what's going to happen. I made a gambit previously in this vlog saying that I thought one character was going to be one who betrayed everyone else. It wasn't the case. I was reading into it way too much, but I also think Jennifer Lynn Barnes missed a bit there. I'll slight spoiler here. Bigger spoiler here. One of the characters, the lawyer, is called Alyssa, and Alyssa is an anagram for alias, as in, you know, another name. And I really thought that meant she was going to be known by another name and like betray everyone, but I was wrong. I was reading way too into it, but that would have been cool. Jennifer Lynn Barnes, hit me up next time. Anywho, back to the non-spoilery part of the review. I feel as though all of my questions were answered. I feel as though everything got wrapped up really beautifully. By that I mean sometimes sometimes series can ramble on, lose track of themselves, and leave me feeling really unsatisfied, but this one didn't. I mentioned it previously as well that I feel like reading the third book in the series straight after book 2 was a mistake, and I figured out, hypothetically, no, wrong word, what's it called when you propose an idea in science? Hypothesize. I hypothesize that because I've become more of a mood reader as I've gotten older, I can't really stand reading 2 books from the same genre back to back. And if I actually look through the order in which I've been reading books, it's a pattern that tracks. So for example, back in 2017, 2018, I read the original ACOTAR trilogy back to back. I read the Raven Boys, the Raven Cycle series back to back. I read the Grishaverse back to back. Like, I literally took the series out from the library or borrowed them from a friend, just read them. I can't do that anymore. If I read a fantasy book, I have to go to something different. If I read a romance book, I cannot do another romance book straight after that. I really have to swap and change them up. So a little observation there. So honestly, if I had given it more of a break, this book probably would have been 5 stars, but I didn't, so it is 4 stars. There are a bunch of triggers for, gun violence, grave desecration, death, scars, child abandonment, adoption, off-page sexual assault, nightmares, and sexual predators. So yeah, what I'm going to do now is, if you follow me over on my Instagram, you'll know that the way I share my reviews is I create a little, I don't know how to explain it. It's like an infographic, but there's no words on it. It shows the book cover and then the vibe that I get from the book with some key icons and symbols. So I'm going to leave you guys with a screen recording of myself doing that. I will just ask though, before I shut up for the rest of this video, that if you have any vlog themes, leave them in a comment down below. I think I want to bring them back in a more casual way, so like at the beginning of a vlog, spin the wheel, read 3 books beginning with A, and then going to the library together, finding those books, and then those are the books I read throughout the vlog. Just could be something fun to do. So if you've got any theme ideas, please drop them down below. And if you've made it to the end of this video, thank you so much. I hope that you have enjoyed this little bit of a comeback from me, and I hope you enjoy all the places you go in your own reading and life adventures. Oh, it feels so good to say the outro again. I can't believe I haven't forgotten it. Peace, love, read all the good books, and I'll catch you later. Bye.
Namaste.